Hello, it's Sharon here from Mumsy Warrior, and the date is the 28th of November 2022. Today I'm going to talk about mental health. I spoke to my mum yesterday, and she said to me, Sharon, make me a promise. If I die, she said, promise me you'll do something about mental health. The thought of my mum dying is a horrible thought. But I've seen my mum suffer so much, and I understand where she's coming from. I understand my dad as well, and my sister, etc., and my brother, and why, my nan wanted my mum to take mental health drugs. I understand. I do get it, because when somebody's so mentally broken, they change into a different person, and that person's really quite difficult to live with. It's not their fault. It's just that's what happens, in mental health sometimes, where people just become completely different people. And I've seen my mum become a different person. Although I had a wonderful childhood, and I'm so fortunate and lucky. I feel really lucky to have such kindness and love in my life. But I've seen my mum shake, her legs shake uncontrollably, and her eyes reach the ceiling where she just cannot bring her eyes back down to the ground, or just to have normal focus. And I can't even imagine having to go through that, how traumatic that would be, to feel like that because of the drugs you're taking. She's also she was unable to take me to school because the drugs basically knocked her out. She couldn't wake up in the morning. So to get myself off to school, then I used to get my sister off to school as well, and get her breakfast in the morning. And I spoke to my mum recently, and she said to me, Sharon, thank you for getting your sister off to school. And I just feel so proud and happy that she recognised that I was there for her, and that I tried to be a good daughter to her. She's at 17. She had a first breakdown, and she was taken off in the ambulance to the mental health, and they fried her brain, basically. Electric shock treatment, very barbaric. They're still doing it today. I don't agree with it. I think it's absolutely horrific what they're doing, and I'd like to sort of try and find a different way, a more compassionate way to help people with mental health issues. That's the dream. That's the dream. Now here's the big question. Why is my mum ill? She wasn't born this way. My mum was not born ill. Nobody is. It's a lie. It doesn't run in families. That's another lie. The reason my mum is ill is because Alfred Kinsey promoted babies are sexual at birth. That's why my mum's ill. The next door neighbour stole my mother's childhood, and she had to live next door to him, even though my nan made sure that she kept her safe and kept her away from him from then on. My mum had to live next door to that man. My nan couldn't call the police because she knew the police wouldn't do anything. She knew that she'd be in danger, and her kids would be in danger, because she was an orphan. She'd witnessed it. She'd witnessed the corruption as a child orphan in England, so she couldn't put her children at risk with that. So she had to keep mum safe herself. Oh my gosh. My mum would get so ill that she'd actually believe my nan wasn't her mum. And that wasn't my mum talking, that was because she'd been broken by that dreadful man next door, and the way he'd been brainwashed by Alfred Kinsey. Because my mum was born before Alfred Kinsey's book came out. I think she was about 2 when his book came out about the sexual man, or I don't know what it's called. But that book, I'm shocked that people support this, really. I really am. I mean, also shocked it's in our schools. And that's what they're fighting for in Wales, to try and change the system, to make sure that children get to have a childhood. It's so important for a child to play and to be a child. I mean, I was so lucky that I did get to be a child. I really had a fantastic childhood. There's always going to be some monsters in your life. You can't help that. You can't get through life without any monsters. Usually, if you do, you're very lucky. But most people have some monsters in their life that they have to deal with. And some people deal with them better than others. And some people have more monsters to deal with. So you have to understand that, you know, some people have really traumatic memories that they have to look back on. And they need help to get past this. And I feel that for me, I had hypnotherapy in my 30s, and it was the best thing I ever did. But I don't know that all hypnotherapists are the same. I don't think they are. The hypnotherapist that I had put all the bad memories into a box and locked it up. And now I don't feel the pain. I'm able to talk about things that I wasn't able to really talk about without getting really upset. And I used to, you know, every time I met somebody, I used to talk about the bad things in my life instead of actually looking at all the good things in my life. And now, thanks to hypnotherapy, I can see the good things so much brighter, and the bad things I know can't hurt me anymore because they're locked away. And it's just the relief of not having that bad memory. Well, I mean, you know it's there, but it doesn't hurt you the way it used to hurt you. I don't feel the pain anymore. And the trouble is, my mum, she does feel the pain. And I don't know how to, because she's on these drugs and she's so broken, I don't know if hypnotherapy would help her. I mean, if I had the money, I'd just whisk her off and take her somewhere where she could sit by the sea and listen to the waves and feed the birds in the garden. And I'd make her smoothie and try and get her well on healthy food and music. She loves to listen to music. And find somebody that's really good that could help her get over the trauma. That's what I'd like to do. I mean, it'd be amazing to sort of like open up somewhere, a big, you know, clinic where it's more like a holiday place where people can go to heal from trauma. I'd love that, because this electric shock treatment is barbaric. The drugs, you know, my mum's been on these drugs her whole life, and she said, you know, how they've destroyed her health. And I worry for her health, and, you know, I may not be able to save my mum, but maybe this message will save somebody else. I hope that we can talk about this more, and yeah, just be a kinder world, more compassionate world. Because my mum was such a kind, well, she is such a kind person. Such a kind person. At 4 years old, I remember her saying to me, Sharon, who do you want to live with, your mum or your dad? I sat between my mum and dad, and I felt my whole world had collapsed. Because of course I loved them both, but I knew who the best parent was. It was my mum. So I chose to live with my mum. My grandmother wanted to adopt me, who's my dad's mother. She really wanted to adopt me and for me to live with her. She thought of me as a daughter, I was her favourite grandchild. But, I'm so glad that I got to live with my mum. I can't imagine my life without my mum. And, there are a lot of children out there that get taken away from people that have mental health issues. And, my mum never hurt us. I remember going to, we went on a holiday, and as a child I was so asthmatic. I know you died of asthma quite a few times, but my mum was always there. She never looked scared. She always made sure I knew I was going to be okay. She had that brave face on. So I knew I was going to be okay. And I did survive. And the times, I was sick, she'd be there she'd get me some oranges and Lucozade. And, she'd just look after me. Even though she was ill, if she was ill, she'd somehow find the power to look after me. Such an amazing lady. But I've forgotten what I was talking about now. I think that we really need to talk about this. So this is for my mum, because I know she cares about other people deeply. Saying that, if I die, Sharon, do something about mental health. That obviously wasn't about her, was it? It was about, other people. She cares about other people so much. Yeah, I've actually witnessed my mum taken away in an ambulance. I've been crying before this, so it's taken me, this is probably about the 15th try now. I've had to stop, but I feel I'm all cried out. So I've seen my mum taken away in the ambulance, and not knowing she's coming back. She's taken a drug overdose from the stuff they've given her. This has been more than once it's happened. I just feel that I don't want another child to see their mum or dad suffer like that. I think we have to talk about this. We have to try and come up with solutions. There's these academic elite brick walls that prevent real debates going on. They think that they're gods, some of these people, but they're not gods. They're causing harm by preventing discussions like this from going forward. So, I don't know. I hope that there are some kind people on the internet, some internet angels, that will share this video and help get a discussion going on mental health and how side effects affect people from these drugs. And if we can find a different way, if we can somehow, raise the money for somewhere to do a health experiment where, you can wean people off the drugs and, get them some hypnotherapy or counselling or something to get rid of the trauma that's making them ill. I think that's the way forward. Gosh, I have cried so much this morning over this, and I'm just, like I said, I'm all cried out now. But, I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. My mum could have been taken away. We could have ended up in care, but my nan made sure that we didn't, and my stepdad made sure that we didn't. So thanks to my stepdad, I got to live with my mum. I got to see the good times when my mum was okay. Shh, Doodle. And I got to see, the tough times too, which give me empathy. So that's I can't do anything about that noise. But I'm going to go now. I really hope with all my heart that this starts a discussion and we can help solve it together. So leave me a message below. Take care, everybody. Sorry about Doodle, he's just... Alright, you're alright, buddy, you're alright. You're okay. It's okay. So take care. And even though I'm not a religious person, I do believe there's a God. I believe in the God of kindness. And I really wish that religion was different. I wish that instead of trying to get people to follow their religion, I wish people would just say, look, we've got these problems in this world. Let's work as team players to solve them together so we can create a safer, happier world for everybody. So that's all from me. I'll speak to you soon. Take care.